Hey, good morning, traders. It's 9:35 a.m. on Thursday, December 14th. And again, like I said, this is Futures Brizio, and just after the New York time open for the futures market, and just wanted to point out a couple of quick things here about things I'm looking at, and highlight a couple of trades that I just took recently. So this should be a pretty short video. So first, looking at natural gas futures, and I did take a trade over here. This was the day before yesterday. Yeah, I believe this was Tuesday. Yeah, this was Tuesday. So this was basically a little scalp I took here, but it's still a nice little move in this market. And you can see I left a little bit on the table, but price has since bounced back. And so now I'm watching this area here where I drew this rectangle again. I always try to talk about kind of that line in the sand, and as you can see, we've been making a series of lower highs and lower lows. So this was the last swing before the last push down, so this is kind of an area I consider to be, that if it was breached definitively, that could potentially signal at least a short-term trend change. And you can see that on the 4-hour chart pretty clearly too. So I'm watching this area today to see what happens, and like I said, I use the 2-line MACD to help with signal timing. This is a 1-hour chart. I don't really like to go much lower than that. It starts to generate a lot of false signals. For the most part, the hourly chart's pretty good. I might go to a 30-minute to fine-tune it a little bit, but really no shorter than that. So that's one that I'm looking for a potential short. On natural gas. In crude oil, so crude oil is a little bit more pronounced. It's basically the same thing. So this was a trade again that I took on Tuesday. I got in over here, I got out right here. Again, left a little bit on the table, but you can see price has now come all the way back. And unlike natural gas, which has not come back into that zone yet, this has. Okay, so if we jump out to the 4-hour chart again, you can see this is the last swing high where I drew this rectangle. And so this is what I'm looking at now. This is obviously in a pretty key area. If price kind of busts through here and starts rallying higher, then at least again in the short term that could signal a trend change. Not guaranteed, obviously, but that's what I'm looking at. So this is an area where if I get a sell signal from this point, again looking at say the 30-minute chart, 1-hour chart, that I would consider a short. Okay, so. This is one I'm keeping a close eye on, especially now that it's come into this rectangle zone that I drew out here earlier. Okay, and so we'll see what happens with this one. Soybeans, you can see I kind of been all over the place with soybeans. But again, generally speaking, this market is still in a downtrend. You see I've taken a lot of trades here. Let me just clean that up. The last one I took yesterday was a loser, but the last couple before that were winning trades. So let me just take all that history off. And so we're looking at this one for a potential short setup again. It's a little choppy, and I may not get the signal that I want on the MACD, but again, looking at the 4-hour chart, I'd say this thing is basically still in a downtrend. The last major swing on the 4-hour chart was over here. We did not violate that, so I kind of looked at this as an ABC correction to the upside. And then we had this strong impulsive move down, then we've kind of paused the last couple of days. Let's see what happens here. This is a potential setup forming here to the downside on this, but it's not as clean as I like. This is what I like to see. I like to see the MACD climb at least to the 0 line, if not higher, and then get a nice sell signal like right here. This is just textbook perfect because it gives you great risk to reward ratio. You get this signal like right about here. You put your stop right above this swing, and then you just let it go. And if it takes you out, then you know you were wrong on the direction. There's no point holding on to it. So, but you can see here we're probably not going to get that MACD signal, at least not on this time frame. Potentially on the 30-minute. So this is another one where I might fine-tune the entry on the 30-minute and take a chance if we get the signal, which we don't have right now. So that's soybeans. Lean hogs, nothing going on. Price is actually bouncing. We did hit this. We did come down to this 4-hour zone down here. I only drew it as this purple line. I don't have like a rectangle drawn, but you can see I did take a short on this earlier in the week, which was really nice. I got out of it down here. Again, it did continue down a little bit more yesterday, but you can see, you know, there's a very strong 4-hour support zone down here, and so you can see prices rallying away from that right now. So I'm not interested in anything in this market right now. And then just flipping over quickly to the NASDAQ and the S&P. So yesterday we had a pretty bullish scenario set up with the Fed announcing, bullish for the stock market. The Fed basically announcing that they held rates the same, and that they were anticipating actually 3 rate cuts next year, which is a little bit, you know, different from what they've been talking about, where we've just been raising rates. Now they've held rates steady the last couple of meetings, and they held them again yesterday. But they are anticipating, if things continue the way they are in terms of the economy and the job market, that we would see rate cuts next year, potentially 3 of them. So the market took off on that news. This is a 10-minute chart. Zoom back out a little bit here. Here's the hourly chart. This is when the news came out and the price just kind of kept going. So we just opened right now, so I don't like to trade right at the open, although potentially this thing is just going to continue to go higher. And the NQ is pretty much the same. The NASDAQ futures pretty much looks the same. You know, we took off yesterday, then during the overnight session last night, we kind of drifted lower. This is a 20-minute chart. And, you know, the MACD is potentially setting up for another long position. So I don't like to jump into these right at the open. I usually like to let at least a half hour go by. So we're only about 10 minutes into the session right now. But I will be keeping an eye out on these. I especially like the NASDAQ in terms of just the way it looks. So this is one I'll be watching, you know, real time right now over the next 20 minutes or so. And I'm looking at a 20-minute chart right here, so I will wait and see how this candle closes and what the MACD ends up doing. So potential bullishness in the stock market, in particular I like the NASDAQ, and then looking at to see what oil and natural gas and soybeans do in terms of whether there's going to be any sells or whether we're going to have a change in direction. Again, there's crude oil kind of rallying pretty strong right now, and this is the natural gas, which is really not doing anything at the moment. So that's about it, guys. I just wanted to drop this video and just talk about some setups that are and just kind of current price action, see what's going on, and just let you know what I'm looking at for today. Alright, so I'll leave it there. Questions, comments, guys, please leave them in the comment section below, and make sure that you join my new Discord channel. I'll leave the link for that in the comment section as well. It's kind of just talking about all things futures. I just launched it a couple of days ago, so I'm trying to get that advertised and start to build some traffic into that. So if you use Discord, which is a great kind of community type of social media, it's really cool and it's easy to use, so feel free to join that Discord channel. But either way, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're just finding it for the first time here, and I will leave it there. Alright guys, have a great day, and if we do get any triggers on any of these, I'll try to make a follow-up. And I also will probably post this video in the Discord channel. Alright guys, take care.